Well, President Biden is expected to address the election results at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right. Mark your calendars. Stay tuned. We will bring that to you live. The president has already spoken to several Democrats who emerged victorious in their races. President Biden also tweeted this image late last night showing him on the phone completing congratulatory calls.
Joining us now is CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang outside the White House. Hey there, Weijia. We know that the president has tweeted his appreciation for all the people who helped democracy function. How is the White House, though, really reacting to those midterm election results there?
Well, I think last night and this morning, we are really getting a sense of excitement and vindication from staffers here at the West Wing because of how well Democrats perform. So I fully expect the president to take a bit of a victory lap. And why, even though it looks like Republicans are poised to take over the House? Because, as sources here have said to me, it could have been much worse. In fact, if you look at history, it was much worse for other presidents who lost many more seats in the House than this president has. So they think that, you know, in the end, this is actually a very good message for Democrats, that they are doing well, that the president's agenda is strong, and that the American public agrees with it. I think they're also being cautiously optimistic about the Senate, but because those races are so competitive, and it looks like some are leaning Democratic, they're also excited about that. So as the president takes questions today, again, I expect him to talk more about his accomplishments and something along the lines of, you know, how it paid off at the polls.
And what's so key, Weijia, about what you're saying is, if that is the case, if the White House is now confident post-midterm election, as is President Biden, he can head to this trip, heading abroad to attend an international climate summit on Friday with some sense of momentum and almost mandate,
right,
so to speak, from the American people, since Republican results weren't as strong as expected as we see it now. Talk to us about that, about how we have this speech at 4 p.m. and the international trip to follow.
That's right. So this is the annual climate summit, and last year it was in Glasgow, Scotland. And actually, Errol, it's really important that you bring that point up, because last year, when the president went, he was trying to pass his social infrastructure plan that included several measures that had to do with climate. And of course, then it was a, you know, just as is right now, the Democrats controlled both the House and the Senate, yet they were not able to pass that because there was so much friction within his own party with Senators Manchin and Sinema. And so, you know, he faced a lot of questions at that summit about, you know, if you can't even do this in your own country, then how can you come here and make the case for other countries to, you know, reduce their carbon footprint? And so it does matter, and these midterms matter. And I do think that people will be asking those same questions, because now Republicans look like they, you know, will take over the House, and they've already vowed to repeal and walk back some of the provisions, climate provisions included in the president's Inflation Reduction Act, that have yet to be implemented. So, you know, I think this is a really important trip, but it does give him that new energy, that momentum going into it, as he continues to make the case that, you know, America is back.
And we know that the president will face many of the questions we've been posing when he addresses the nation at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Weijia Jiang, thank you very much.
Thanks, Weijia.
Thank you.